Okay, for number 23 and 24, you are writing whether the slope is 0 or undefined, and then write the equation for each line. Horizontal, uh, basically it's flat, so there's no rise, right? So if I pick 2 points on the line, so let's say this one and this one, the rise is nothing. It doesn't go up at all. The run is 1. Okay, so the slope is rise over run, so 0 divided by 1 is 0. My slope is 0 for number 23. The equation for that line is, if it's horizontal, listen, a lot of people forget this. A lot of people think it's x equals when it's horizontal. It is not. If I look at every point on this line, the y coordinate is 2. So my point here is 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. You get the idea, right? So on that whole line, the y value is 2, and that's my equation. Y equals 2. Okay? So now a vertical line, you can probably guess, that is x equals, and what number is it? 1, 2, 3, x equals -3. So when you have x equals, it's a vertical line. When you have y equals, it's a horizontal line. Now, the slope of this line, so get rise over run again. Okay, so I pick a point, doesn't really matter where. My rise is 1. My run is 0. I cannot have 0 in the denominator. If you type that in your calculator, 1 divided by 0, it will say divide by 0 error or something like that. So my slope is undefined, is what we say. Okay? My slope is undefined when the line is vertical. Okay? 25 and 26, you're writing the slope-intercept form of the equation. To do that, you need m and b. You need those two things. The slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we need to find the y-intercept first. You don't have to, I guess, but it's usually a good place to start. Where does the line cross the y-axis? Right there, and that number is 1. So my y-intercept is 1. Now my slope, I just count from one nice point, which is actually right there, to another nice point, which is right there, and that's where it crosses the grid line perfectly. So to get there, I go down 2, which is -2, over to the right, which is positive 3. So my slope is -2/3. My equation is y equals -2/3 x, don't forget the x, plus 1. It's just plugging my two things into m and b. Same thing for 26. My b value is +2, and then I find another nice point right there. Up 3, that's positive. Right 4, that's positive as well. So my equation is y equals 3/4 x plus 2. All right, 27 to 28, you're finding the x and y intercepts. If you look at these graphs up here, the y-intercept has the coordinates 0, 1. This one has the coordinates 0, 2, which is starting to lead us to think something. When you're looking for the y-intercept, that means x equals 0. So the opposite is, if you're looking for the x-intercept, that means y equals 0. And the way why that helps us, if I put 0 in for y, that makes that whole thing go away. That 3 times 0 is 0, it's gone. What I have left is -6x equals -9. And that's how you find your x-intercepts. Divide by -6, you get x equals 1.5, or 3/2. So my x-intercept is 1.5, which means it has the coordinates 1.5, 0, right? Because the y-coordinate is 0. The y-intercept, put 0 in for x. So basically you cover that up. You get 3y equals -9. You get y equals -3. That's the y-intercept, which means it has the coordinates 0, -3. The same thing for 28. X-intercept, you get 4x equals -18. Divide by 4, you get x equals -4.5, which are the coordinates -4.5, 0. Y-intercept, 12y equals -18. Divide by 12, you get y equals -1.5. So 0, -1.5 are my coordinates. Done. All right, so 29 and 30 are going to take a little bit longer. Write the equation of the line passing through the following 2 points. And we want it in slope-intercept form. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope, which is the change in y which means subtract the y values. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Negative 2 minus negative 4 over the change in x. But I started with negative 2, so I got to start with this 3. 3 minus negative 3. So negative 2 minus negative, so negative 2 plus 4 would be 2. 3 plus 3 is 6. Reduce that, my slope is 1/3. Now I circled it. I'm not done, but that's the slope I'm going to use, and all I have to do is use one of the points. Okay, so I'm going to use, this one has only one negative, so I'm going to use this one. You could use the other one, it's okay. I'm going to do slope point slope form, so y minus the box. So my negative 2 goes in for y, my slope is 1/3, and my x is 3. So that's y plus 2 equals 1/3 x minus 3. Distribute the 1/3, you get y plus 2 equals 1/3 x minus 1. Subtract 2, you get y equals 1/3 x. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, and there's my answer. Okay. Number 30, same idea. I'm going to subtract my x's, so negative 4 minus 7, and then 1 minus 2. Negative 4 minus 7 is negative 11, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 11 divided by negative 1 equals positive 11. Now I'm going to do this a different way. I'm not going to use point slope. I'm going to use the thing I showed you where I just take a point, plug it in for this equation here. We found my slope, that's m. 7 is my y value, and 2 is my x value. Solve for b. 7 equals 22 plus b. Subtract 22. You get negative 15 equals b. So I'm going to take that and my slope and write my equation. So y equals 11x minus 15. Okay, 31 and 32, kind of switching gears here. These are radical equations. So semester 2, everything we've done up until now has been semester 1. So we have a radical. Is there anything on the outside of the radical on the left side of the equal sign that needs to be moved over? No, so I'm ready to get rid of the radical. To get rid of the radical, all I do is square both sides. Cancels the radical, I get x plus 4 equals, what's 5 squared? That's 25. Now this is real simple. Subtract 4, get x equals 21. Nice thing about these, you can take your answer, plug it in, and you should get the right number back. So 21 plus 4, that's 25. The square root of 25 is 5. It works. Number 32, I do have something on the outside. I need to move that first. So I'm going to add 3 to the other side. Gets rid of it. So I have 9 equals radical x minus 3. Now it's by itself. Now I'm going to square it. And I get 81 equals x minus 3. Add 3. 84 equals x. Again, you can check that if you want.